Here we are. We are live. Good morning. And to those watching me a little bit later, I hope you're doing well. My name is Ryan Naylor. I am the CEO and founder of LocalWork.com, and you are in my garage. This is actually my home office. Kind of a funny story. This is a third car garage. We were able to kind of over here put a wall in behind me. Had some French doors, and those French doors actually open up. And I've got a garage. My garage door opens. Able to go outside with the kids, ride the longboard and the bike in the background. And I am probably like you, working from home. And so my topic today, just so you guys know, this Facebook Live is actually part of connection of a bigger master planned effort, which maybe some of you are coming from with Arizona's family, azfamily.com. They are putting together workshops and virtual hiring events all day today, which is absolutely remarkable. We do a live feed every Friday, but we decided to jump in a day early and see how we can help. We want to give some support to the community and do what we can. So if you haven't checked it out, go to azfamily.com. There's a blue banner on their website. Click on it and you can see kind of the schedule. If you're jumping into this feed later, you can jump in and kind of see some of the recordings and some hot links into exactly who's hiring. And then we're going to be sharing here in the comments section some links to active employers and who's hiring and what's going on. So let's jump right in. But back to kind of what I was talking about before, I, like you, are working from home. And what a lot of people realize and don't realize is the employers are just like you and I working from home. And a lot of times that means our hiring experience is this. It's right here. It's Skype, it's FaceTime, it's different technology, or even just a regular old phone call becomes your interview and your hiring process. And that's become the new norm, and that's okay. We're okay with that. And I'm getting a lot of feedback from job seekers that are kind of a little bit nervous about, I don't know how to showcase my personality. I don't know how to kind of portray the true me through a video camera or just over the phone. And the reality is no one does. It's very challenging. You can see I'm here alone in my room talking to you, and we don't get to interact on the body language quite as much as we would person to person. But here's what I can tell you is that when you can use intonation, you can pause, and you can emphasize those important points that you want to declare during a job interview, that's what's going to separate you. So I'm going to be going through some stories, some examples. I've been talking to a lot of employers. Every Friday at 10 a.m., we get on this Facebook Live and YouTube Live channels, and we actually broadcast to you an interview with 5 active hiring companies. And we get to ask the questions that you might not want to ask, like the tough questions that might make things a little bit awkward, like, what are you really doing for your employees during this crisis? Like, show me some example of goodwill so that if I send people to work for you, they can have a sense of confidence you're doing the right thing. So we're able to ask those tough questions, and you get to answer or listen to the answers and engage with the hiring managers. So that's Fridays at 10 a.m. But right now we're going to do kind of a workshop. How can you tell your story? How do you stand out from the crowd? And as you're watching this, and even afterwards, if you're not watching it live, go ahead and post comments, questions, so that we can engage with them. We can talk to you and kind of be able to respond back to them. Cool? All right. So the first thing that really stands out in getting ready for a virtual interview is the technology. It's not ideal. We understand that, but we're all in this together. One of the first things that I can recommend is take advantage of ear pieces, whether it's AirPods or you got the, come on, help me, the old earphones with the old hard wires back in the day, those ones. Um, make sure your audio is clear. That is always become a very frustrating glitch that seems to occur over and over again is why is it so hard for people to just have a good audio? We understand the video feed, it might have some glitches, a little bit of a delay. That's fine. But we need to do our best to make sure we have really good audio. And a lot of times, just adding simple earbuds or headphones can do just the trick. So, highly recommend that. Step number one. Number two is if you're doing a video, try and get to a quiet place. But here's what I will say, if you can't get to a quiet place and you've got teenagers out behind you, you've got little kids making noises, we get it. Hiring managers get it because guess what? They probably have their kids in the next room as well. And they probably just got done screaming at them and saying, I'm about to get on a call. We're all in this. Anybody. And so make sure you take the time to say, hey, thank you so much for this interview. It looks like you're working from home. I'm working from home. I've got 3 little kids and I'm their mom, and they're probably gonna come and pull on my shirt and tug me and ask me to go get them some cereal, whatever it is. Just wanna make sure we're all on the same page. They love the transparency, just that simple disclosure, not apologetic. It is what it is. That is one of the biggest things that employers look for because they like to see how candid you are. They like to see you're direct, you're not hiding anything, you're very open and honest about it. But if you're trying to fake it too much, employers hate that. They absolutely hate it. Be real, be authentic. All right. So we got tips 1 and 2, right? Headphones, great audio. We got to make sure we're unapologetic, but we state the situation. We disclose kind of what it is with some sense of confidence there. Number 3 is passion. A lot of these employers I've been talking to, last Friday, if you're able to go back through and look, I think it was the April 3rd video interview I did with the employers. We talked a lot about this. What is it that a job seeker can do in the video in the moment to really stand out? Because we can't do it face to face. I can't give you a really extra firm handshake and can't kind of do all this cheesy advice that you read online. It doesn't work. The employers want to see passion. So there's a couple things that you can do right now to be able to demonstrate passion to your employer during the interview. Here's the first one. The first thing you can do is ask a lot of great questions. Now, I'm not talking questions like, so what time do you need me to show up for work? No. I'm talking about questions like, I was diving through your website and you guys had a really interesting blog post about your core values. And one of the ones that you emphasized on your core values talked about customer service first. Now, that speaks deeply to me. But first, I would like to hear from you as an employee. What does that look like to you? How does that get reflected through the organization? Holy smokes. That recruiter, that hiring manager, that department lead is going to say this person took their time and they thought about it. They're taking the time to get deeper into this organization. That is passion. That is showing that you want to work there. You want to know what's going on, and you're turning the table to now interview them on why you should consider them as being the right fit. It didn't take much. It's simple observations. It's taking the time to do a little bit of research, have some reference points, and use them in a question to get some clarity. That's all it is. Pretty simple. But it goes so deep into kind of what recruiters and hiring managers look for. They want to see somebody that's got the extra effort. My organization, this is the advice of Ryan. There's 3 things I look for. And in all my employees, when we all sit together and we do our group interviews, we rate them only on 3 things. Their attitude. I should get my hands up. You guys can see that. Look at that. The attitude, aptitude, and assertiveness. I'm only looking for 3 things. None of those three things had anything to do with hard skills about the job. We want to know first their attitude. Were they positive or were they derogatory? We're like, oh my gosh, this COVID-19, it's just never ending. I hate it. Like we all hate it. I mean, let's be real. We all hate it. But how can you have a good attitude about it? Because work isn't fun. It's not easy. It's a job. It's a job. We're getting after it. But a lot of times people forget to be positive in interviews. So we want to look for the attitude. We want to look for aptitude. Do you guys know what aptitude is? Because I find that it's not as common that I thought it was. Aptitude, the willingness and the ability to go figure things out. Just go figure it out. Or do we have somebody that's like just wants to sit around and be told what to do and how to do it and where to go and how to look for it? No. We want people that can say, "Oh, I see a problem here. I'm going to go figure it out. I'm going to just go get it done." That goes a long ways with employers. So how do you demonstrate aptitude? How do you demonstrate, in my previous job, I was an executive assistant and, core responsibilities were XYZ. But I'll tell you one thing that I actually really enjoyed. I was able to find out that communication had a backlog because every time I was on the phones would just keep ringing in circles and the customers would actually never get service. So I was able to hire in a virtual assistant that was able to greet people and then put them on hold so that I could get to them a little bit faster. Took that extra initiative. What we did is we found that the call drop, you know, we enhanced it by 36%. Holy smokes, it shows some demonstration of aptitude. And the third one, assertiveness. What are you doing to find problems and make things better? So that is one of my biggest pieces of advice is passion. And you can demonstrate that by just doing a little bit of homework and showing the confidence that you're willing to add some value. Good question coming in from Zahid. What are some questions candidates might be asked over a virtual interview? Great question, Zahid. Thank you for that. Um, you know, core questions are going to ask, right now they're going to be asking, what can you do? We understand daycare might not be open. You might have other responsibilities. So what are your hours? They're always going to know availability. There's going to be a lot of questions coming in right now that weren't there as much about competency from a technical standpoint. So the technical competency is going to be a little bit of a challenge because if you're coming into a different industry and you're used to saying, "Hey, I'm going to show up day one to my job and I know there's a training room and we've got a corporate trainer that's going to train me for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever the program looks like." That's tough. That's real tough. And so back to kind of what I was saying earlier on aptitude and assertiveness, being able, if they're going to be asking you questions about technology or skill sets you might not have, how do you demonstrate? Think about how you can demonstrate that you'll figure it out. You'll actually get after it as much as possible to give them a sense of confidence that, okay, when we get this person on board, they're going to go figure it out. We're not worried about them. They might not have those skill sets right now, and that's okay. A couple other questions. A lot of people are asking, work history. Tell me what you've done when you've had a challenge at your job. How does that get resolved? Some of these are just boilerplate questions, but you need to think about what are they really asking? What do they really want to know? And a lot of times that's going to look like, I want to have a sense of confidence that candidate A sees problems. I want to see that they see a customer for a customer. They want to represent the business, but they see the pain point the customer is going through. And they're going to be able to go from A to Z and walk that customer through a journey that finds success. So how can you think about what is the recruiter really asking as opposed to the frontline text? Because they've got a sheet they've used forever. They've got the same 10 questions. A couple other virtual questions they might be having right now during a virtual interview. What does your technology look like? Are you able to work, 8 hours continuously without interruption? What kind of internet connection do you have? They're going to ask a lot of the technology and communication, bandwidth, support. That's going to be happening quite a bit. So be prepared for that. Be ready to showcase what you're able to bring to the table. Thank you, Zahid, for that question. If you have any other questions, feel free to bring them in and we can talk through those. What some of the other tips that I've got is we're talking through virtual interviews. Probably one of the biggest things, pieces of advice that I could give you guys is to not only are you going to ask questions, but you're going to ask poignant questions. You're actually going to do your research to find out exactly what the employer is looking for. So here's a couple of ways you can take advantage of public information. Get into their job description that you're applying for, have it in front of you, and highlight out every one of the skills and responsibilities that they have outlined on the job description. Chances are they're going to be talking through those. When they put skills and responsibilities, they mean it. Sometimes job seekers think those are more suggestions, and sometimes they are. But my advice is if you cannot 100% say, I can do 80% of those skills and responsibilities right now, it's not the right job for you. I think there's some wiggle room. I think there's 25 to 30% of the bullet point list that might not apply to you. And that's okay. There's some opportunity for growth there. But if you can showcase, so have the skills and responsibilities in front of you and write out experiences where you can demonstrate value on each one of those. So one of the skills and responsibilities might be proficient in Microsoft Office and Excel. It's a common one, and people just kind of overlook it. But here's how you can do it. Demonstrate, I noticed on your job description, you had indicated proficient in Microsoft Office. I had a couple questions for you. Are we going to be customizing templates to be utilizing on an ongoing basis, or mail merges, or how can I utilize my skills in that program to be as efficient as possible and add the most value? Like, you can take that and ask a question right back that's going to completely impress them, and it's going to demonstrate you've taken some time to think about it. You can add value by saying, here's how I was able to take a standard Excel document and I was actually get it into Google Docs, because I found that when we use Google Docs and with my team in the past, and we were able to build on all the formulas, templatize it, and now we had a shared working document we could share across the team. We could all input data together. We found more efficiency. Show some value. I mean, yeah, it's a task, but you show value. Let them visualize what you could bring to the table. Good question coming in from Maria. Does it matter what I wear in a virtual interview? It does. It's assertiveness, right? So showing up, we know you're at home. There's no question about that. But are you taking the time to show that you've got put in that extra effort? I'm not saying I'm not going to put on a suit and tie. Are you kidding me? I mean, we just did a live TV interview here with Gina on AZ Family. Like, I'm just wearing a polo. I'm just wearing some shorts underneath. Let me be honest. I'm not wearing pants. Come on. I'm wearing some shorts and cozy. But I took the time to get up extra early and shower. And I think everyone should recognize that. That's great. But here's the thing. That you got to demonstrate that extra effort. And showing up in just a tank top or not really taking the time to get your hair done or look good in front of the camera, it does matter. And I think that right now, here's I'm gonna look real serious into the camera because it's important. There's a lot of people looking for work. There's a lot of people looking for work. The unemployment numbers, the national unemployment numbers, the weekly unemployment are coming out a little bit later today. And we're going to talk about that in tomorrow's live video. But let me tell you, it's a problem. And so you want to stand out, show extra effort. If you don't want the job, just show up. But if you show up with that extra effort, I'm telling you, they're going to notice. So I think it does matter. Now, when I say it matters, they're not going to be like looking at me like, wow, she wore blue. I really thought peach was a better color with her. Like, they don't care about that, but they want to see that what you did when you're getting ready. I think they care about making sure that you're taking the time. Where in the house, Bobby Joe, thank you for the question. Where in the house should the interview take place? Um, I think this is anyone's guess. I I think you just need to make sure it's clean. Find a spot that looks a little bit clean, at least a little bit picked up. I think there's a lot of assumptions. The interviewers are not going to be like rejected, dirty dishes in the kitchen. No, they get it. They've probably got 5 plates sitting behind their computer because they've been eating at their desk while they've been working as well. They get it. But again, back to assertiveness that we talked at the very beginning, in case you missed us, we talked about attitude, aptitude, and assertiveness. How do you demonstrate those qualities through a video interview? What are you doing to be assertive to show I've got a place of order? I'm organized. I'm not a messy person. I think through things. I'm putting forth extra effort. And I think that goes into where you do your interview. So I don't think it matters as if a setting is a kitchen as opposed to, I'm on a dining room table or I'm at my couch. I think any of that is fine. Just have a sense of order and cleanliness around you. It will go a long ways. And then I would just say, we know that there's going to be distractions. It's the current environment that we're living in, but are you able to do it in a relatively quieter place than you otherwise could have? Like if you know you've got a lot of kids and there's a lot of things going on, you probably don't want to be like dead center in the house and we're circling the wagons and playing trains and cars all around you the whole interview. Maybe you get into a corner, but try and be in a quiet place where you can have focus, where you can devote the attention. But it's fine. I'm gonna have my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old probably walk through this door or bang on the door probably any minute now. That's just the nature of the beast. So great question. Hopefully I was able to answer that correctly for you, Bobby Joe. Thank you for asking that. Let's bring in another great question from Maria. How should you follow up after a virtual interview? Thank you for asking that because I probably would have forgot to talk about it, and it is so important. The virtual interview is your chance to ask how you should follow up. And a lot of people forget to do that. At the end of the interview, your recruiter, your hiring manager can say, what kind of questions do you have? Have some questions ready. And your last questions should say, I have really appreciated this interview today. Thank you so much for having me be part of this and be considered. I am passionate about this opportunity. And sometimes that passion might get ahead of me, and I would love to get a job offer as soon as possible. I know there's a process. I know there is. What's a good process to follow up with you? What's a good time frame to just kind of check in and make sure things are going in the right direction? Just pause. Let them tell you their follow-up procedures. But what are you're doing 2 things here. One, you're asking the question, and then you're asking the real question is, how soon can you hire me? Let's get after this. You're asking the question about follow-up, but you're presenting it in a way about being passionate. And we talked about that. It's assertive, it's aptitude. It's showing that you really care about the job. You've got some passion behind it. Use your questions to frame out that passion. So I think that the best way is to ask the next steps. What do they want to see? Now, if you've done an interview before you watch this video, I get it. I usually say 24 hours, every 24 hours until I get the job. I like those people. That's me. Some people get annoyed by them. Listen, if you talk to recruiters, they're ambitious people. They get it. And when you got a company that's got hiring pressure, do you know what kind of stress those recruiters feel, those hiring managers? Because every day that person their butt is not in the seat working for the company, they're getting reports on them. Time to hire. These reports. I own an applicant tracking system that recruiters use to post jobs. We got reports every day. How long is it taking you to fill the job? Come on, let's go a little faster. Let's go a little bit faster, because if we're not filling the job, we got pressure on you. We're losing money. There's opportunity cost. So think about it from their seat. They got to get their job done, and they got to hire somebody great, and they got to do it quickly. But if you're waiting like, Let's wait 72 hours. Let's give them a week. It's too long. That recruiter's they've got pain points. They got to feel people. Don't be ashamed of that. Just touching base. Just wanted to jump in and see if there's any new news in the situation, the hiring process. I know it takes time, but just want to let you know I'm here and I'm excited to work with you. Any other follow-up questions, let me know. Um, I think that's just some great counsel is be persistent. All right. We're gonna keep going here for about 5 minutes. You guys keep having questions. I'm gonna tackle them. I'm not afraid of that. So keep bringing it. What if you were more of an introverted person? What advice do you have? Tracy, I'm gonna be completely real with you. I'm an introverted person. This is uncomfortable for me, but you got to find a way to fake it till you make it. You got to find a way to say, how would I act if my best friend from college was sitting right in front of me? Because I'll tell you, when my best friend would be sitting right here in front of me, this is who I am. I'm fun. I'm a little bit jovial. I'm getting after it. We got a big smile on my face. We're giggling about things. We've got inside jokes. You've got to find a way to bring that out of you. You've got to find a way to demonstrate a sense of personality. Positivity is usually demonstrated through happiness. Negativity is demonstrated through quiet and sadness. So naturally introverted people like myself, I'm actually okay with this like stay in home order, just work from my solitary of my room. I like it. But for introverted people, showing and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable kind of pushing yourself to show that personality in front of the camera. But I highly recommend find a way to say, here I am. Here's my personality. I'm a you're getting good things from me. And in that interview process, you've got to demonstrate a sense of personality and excitement. And the best thing I can say is I've got my best friend from college. I visualize him right in front of me. He's a goofball. He makes me laugh. I think about it. It helps me get comfortable in front of the camera. So hope that helps. It's something that I do, but it's not comfortable. I acknowledge that it is not comfortable. It is not the easiest thing to do. So, but take some time to let me actually add this, Tracy. Do you know what gives you confidence? Preparation. Preparation can give you a lot of confidence, especially as an introverted person. Having questions and having reviewed as much information about the company as possible can do a lot of good things for you to make you feel 100% comfortable in that environment. You can ask questions that you otherwise might not have because you're confident because of the research you've done. Take that time. Take the time to do a little bit of extra research that you otherwise wouldn't have done. And I would bet a lot of money that you're going to have a lot more confidence going into the situation. Anyways, my time is up. Thank you so much for coming. Before you go, make sure you subscribe for Friday's video. Whether you're watching this on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day of the week it is, on Friday at 10 a.m., we do a live feed. We interview 5 employers. Last week, we had Banner Health. We've had some incredible employers here in the Valley. Make sure you jump on Friday at 10 a.m. I ask the questions. I put them in the hot seat. I put the interviews and hiring managers in the hot seat. You get to ask the questions that that I can ask them. And it goes a long ways because you might be that introvert person that Tracy just talked about. And it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes for them because I get asked questions you really want to know, but you don't want to ask because you don't want to be like, make them think less of you during the interview. Let me ask those hard questions. I don't have anything to lose, but I can give you a lot more value. And it can help you get a little bit inside access as to what they're looking for when they're interviewing you. When they're actually calling you back, you already know a little bit of the answers because you saw me interview them and ask, what exactly are you looking for? Give me 3 things right now that you're looking for when you're interviewing somebody. And if they give me 2, I'm going to keep them on until they say the third. We're going to push them a little bit. But here's the thing. There is so much good news right now. There are companies doing things they've never done before. They're giving back in ways they've never given back. Take advantage of that. Look for those opportunities and find the good employers. We had over 3,000 jobs for hire right now last Friday when we did our live video interview. 3,000 jobs between 5 companies in Phoenix, Arizona, hiring right now. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. That is great news. And I know a lot of the natural thing is to go negative because that gets ratings, it gets discussion, it gets passion heated. Are you kidding me? There are some great employment opportunities. Phoenix is loaded with great organizations, and they are smart. They were able to transition in ways that other markets in other cities could not do. They couldn't do it. But I'm telling you, Phoenix found a way, and they've got some great employers here in the Valley. So take advantage of that. And jump on. So tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m., join us here. I'm interviewing 5 companies. One of them is Phoenix PD, and I'm excited. I've got some great questions for them, and I want to know how they're protecting their officers right now in the field. I want to know their employees right now in the field out there compromising more than they've ever done before, not only because of natural safety concerns, but because there's a invisible illness that's compromised. I'm going to ask, what are you doing to protect your employees? And that includes officers in the field. It includes dispatch. It includes a lot of different things. So we're going to talk about that again every Friday, 10 a.m. Excited to have you. You can just subscribe to our YouTube channel, Facebook page. You'll get an alert. And then on LocalWork.com, which is our website, jump on. There should be a banner at the top. If there's not, I'll fire someone for you. No, I'm just kidding. But there should be a red banner on the top of the website. And click that. It's going to go to a blog post that we're updating hourly. I mean, we're in there several times a day, putting in new employers, all hiring now. If they can't show they're not hiring right this second, we don't put them on there. We're not going to put in those fake jobs. We're like, oh, let's build a bench. Let's maybe get like some resumes for like in 8 months. No, you guys want jobs now. So we're going to vet those employers. We put them in one comprehensive list so you can have some confidence behind it, knowing they are good employers. Anyway, that's it for me, Ryan Naylor. I'm at LocalWork.com. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to be doing this again in coordination with AZ Family Thursday tonight at 5:30 p.m. Jump on if you have more questions about interview. But we're also going to be bringing the same passion, the same energy about job search tips. Being the owner of a job board, I've got some insight for you. I've got some tips and tricks that might change your perception on how to look for jobs and how to apply to them. So tune in tonight or get the automated alert for social media going live. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much.